The movie opens up with a woman named Kira Mabon, who is dating Jonas Svierczynski. After an enjoyable evening at a bar, he takes her to his place where they spend the night together. When Kira wakes up the next morning, Jonas is already gone, and her attempts to contact him are unsuccessful. Nevertheless, she leaves the apartment without a care in the world. On the way, she calls her friend Martha to recount the evening with her fifth date. However, her friend abruptly hangs up on her, implying doubt about Kira's account. This one jealous-ass friend. Just then, Kira realizes that she has inexplicably walked back to Jonas's building. In a confused state, she enters the apartment, which has become different from the one she's just left, and it feels strangely familiar. She recognizes the furniture and several other things, as if she has been there long ago. She also has a vision of a little girl playing in one of the rooms. She frantically calls the contact labeled home, and to her surprise, the landline rings in the same apartment. All of this seems to tell Kira that this is her home. The only sign of Jonas is an old photograph of him and Kira together, which appears to be very old. Unable to comprehend the situation, Kira rushes to the washroom where she notices that one of her finger's skin is crumbling off. As she tries to tear them off, it starts bleeding, which makes her uneasy, so she patches it again. Shortly after, she hears a knock on the door and sees Martha through the peephole. But before she can open the door, she collapses to the ground due to excruciating pain in her finger. By the time she regains her consciousness, she finds that her friend has already gone. Right then, Kira meets her neighbor, Sophia Demeraux, who invites her to her place. Kira appears to be meeting her for the first time, but by the way Sophia talks, it seems that she knows her from a long time ago. Puzzled, Kira wonders how she knows her, and Sophia reveals that they have been neighbors for quite some time now. As their conversation unfolds, Kira shows her the picture of Jonas and asks if she knows him. However, the latter doesn't seem to recognize him and attributes the picture to being very old. Following this, Kira returns back to her apartment and takes some time to make sense of the situation. She probably look in a mirror, Kira. Later that evening, Sophia comes back to Kira, expressing concern for her well-being and recommending a visit to the doctor. In response, Kira mentions having a doctor's appointment letter, but is uncertain about the date of her last visit. Sophia helps her with some comforting words that eventually lifts up her mood. The two then share a toast with a glass of wine. During this, Kira's glass slips from her hand and falls, shattering it into pieces. To make matters worse, Sophia accidentally steps on the broken pieces, causing a small cut on her foot. Kira then gathers the broken glass and a piece of Sophia's skin before heading to the bathroom. There, she gently replaces her finger's skin with that of the skin from Sophia's foot. To her surprise, Sophia's skin quickly melds with hers. This makes her believe that she has finally discovered a cure. By swapping out her flaky skin with healthier skin, she can achieve smooth and rejuvenated skin. The following morning, Kira wakes up to learn that her skin infection is spread even more. As a result, she decides to seek medical help and meets Dr. Rafaela Krober, who carefully extracts a sample of her flaky skin for testing. Curious, Kira asks if she has been here before, but the doctor dismisses it as an unimportant topic. After some time, Dr. Rafaela reveals that Kira's skin is undergoing atypical cell deterioration, indicating premature aging. Thank God, says Kira. I thought I had that Benjamin Button shit. Hearing this, though, Kira asks about the possibility of a skin transplant, but the doctor advises waiting for the test results before making a decision. Dr. Raffaello also provides her with some medications to cope with the pain and assures that it will get cured. Afterwards, Kira finds out that the skin condition has extended to her shoulder. Unable to wait for the test result, she decides to visit another hospital. While waiting for the doctor, she notices a mortician taking a smooth-skinned dead body towards the morgue room. Kira appears to be envious of the dead body's skin as well. Shortly after, Dr. Cerny examines her and suggests that she consult with skin specialists, or maybe just skin some dead people. With no immediate treatment, Kira exits the office feeling despondent. Just then, an idea strikes her, leading her to sneak into the morgue. Once in there, she uses a scalpel to cut a piece of skin from a lifeless body. She then attempts to cover her wound on the shoulder. Unfortunately, the skin from the deceased body lacks the expected healing power. It doesn't adhere with her own skin. At this moment, Kira understands that only fresh skin has an impact on her flaky skin. Afterwards, Kira is unable to endure the pain, so she resorts to calling Dr. Rafaela, desperately seeking help. However, the doctor can only recommend staying calm, getting some rest, and taking the prescribed medicine. Kira then walks into a bar, intending to counter her pain with a drink. While there, her attention is grabbed by a waitress with smooth skin. skin. Overwhelmed by jealousy, Kira follows the waitress to the basement, where she knocks her unconscious, removes a piece of skin from her shoulder, and places it on her flaky skin. And this time, the skin blends seamlessly, just the way it did before. As if waitresses didn't already have it bad enough. In the aftermath, Kira brings the unconscious waitress to her home, intending to complete the entire process overnight. As Kira revels in the sensation of smooth skin, the waitress regains her consciousness. She tries to scream for help, but before that, Kira quickly covers her mouth and stabs her in the neck, resulting in her death. She then slowly removes her flaky skin and replaces it with the freshly acquired skin from the waitress. Later, Kira is thrilled to observe the smooth and impeccable condition of her new skin. While admiring herself in the mirror, she notices a spot on her shoulder starting to flake again. Just then, Sophia pays her a visit and admires her smooth and flawless skin. She also expresses her curiosity on the treatment for such an outcome, but Kira evades the truth, simply pretending that it was medication prescribed by the doctor.
It's just elephant jizz. Works wonders.
Their conversation eventually takes a romantic turn, probably because she said elephant jizz, and they end up getting intimate. The next day, Kira visits Dr. Rafaela as the test results are finally out. However, the doctor adds that it will take a few more days to establish the precise treatment plan. She also emphasizes that the hospital needs to make a reminder call since Kira is having some problem with her memory. Despite this, Kira doesn't show much concern about it. The same evening, she and Sophia spend some private time together. When the latter once again asks about her skin treatment, Kira gets irritated and storms out of the room.
I already told you, the jizz is from Nepal. It's totally sustainable.
Later on, she notices that her flaky skin has started to spread across her entire body. One night, at a bar, Kira spots another woman with flawless skin and follows her to the restroom. There, she commits another murder in order to obtain her skin. After a swift skin replacement process, she leaves the bar unnoticed. Meanwhile, Sophia catches up with her on the way, attempting to apologize, but Kira insists on being left alone. Back home, Kira weeps, burdened by guilt over taking innocent lives. Furthermore, she is also disturbed by constant flashbacks of the time she spent with Jonas. She rushes to the bathroom to calm herself down, but much to her dismay, she sees herself as an old woman in the mirror. Told ya. This sets her into a panic for a moment, but she notices the police arresting someone else, allowing her to breathe a sigh of relief. Afterwards, Sophia visits her, and this time, Kira welcomes her in. While Sophia is busy enjoying the music, Kira slips into the bathroom to check on the girl she appears to have kidnapped. She then rejoins Sophia and asks her to check her body for any signs of flaky skin on the back. Upon doing so, Sophia notices some flaky skin, and she recommends revisiting the doctor. Once she departs, Kira proceeds to replace her skin with that of the kidnapped girls. Later, in the clinic, Dr. Rafaela informs Kira that they've finally discovered a cure to rejuvenate her skin, potentially slowing down its decay. This news brings great joy to Kira's face. Regardless, the doctor still asks for more time for a thorough research of the procedure. Unwilling to wait any longer, Kira breaks into the office and steals the treatment plan. By the time she returns home, the kidnapped girl seems to have managed to drag herself to the door. However, Kira again drags her back to the bathroom. Now that the floor is stained with blood, Kira begins to clean it. Afterwards, she goes to Sophia's place, along with the stolen documents, and the two proceed to watch it together. The video depicts a woman in her 60s who is willing to participate in an experimental procedure to reverse aging. At the end of the video, the elderly woman ultimately transforms into a younger version. Here, it is revealed that this woman is none other than Kira herself. We also learn that she got divorced from Jonas 20 years ago after giving birth to a daughter, a fact that she is still unable to recall. This revelation unsettles her deeply. Now that her skin is aging faster, she doesn't know how to face the rest of her life. Strangely enough, Sophia doesn't look surprised by all of this, and she instead comforts her by assuring that she will always be by her side. Desperate to unravel the complete truth, Kira contacts her daughter, who is now an adult woman. She becomes speechless upon learning that her daughter now has a child of her own. Unable to digest all of these revelations, Kira wishes to run far away to some place where nobody recognizes her. Sophia decides to accompany her and starts packing up her things. Before they depart, Kira douses her entire room with gasoline and sets it ablaze, erasing all remnants of her family memories. Once out of the apartment, Kira and Sophia attempt to find more volunteers for the reverse aging experiment, but they are unable to locate any. Following this, Kira decides to visit her daughter's house. Upon arrival, a little girl, presumably her granddaughter, answers the door. The two have a brief conversation until the little girl screams upon seeing Kira's flaking skin. Gotta get some head and shoulders, bitch! As a result, she hastily departs departs from the place, being unable to confront her daughter. After this, Kira and Sophia stay at a motel, and by this time, Kira's skin condition begins to worsen. Seeing this, Sophia advises her to see Dr. Rafaela, but the latter refuses. It is at this point that Sophia confesses the truth, her background in biochemistry, and her collaboration with Dr. Rafaela in monitoring Kira. She also reveals a sedative in Kira's water, which knocks the latter out. In the next scene, Kira wakes up restrained on a lab table. Shortly after, Dr. Rafaela approaches her and expresses her regret, acknowledging that test subjects should never have been let out of the lab. She also explains that Kira's missing memories are a side effect of the regeneration process. In an attempt to figure out how Kira's skin flawlessly merged with foreign tissue, Dr. Rafaela initiates painful experiments that continue for several days. Witnessing her partner suffering, Sophia becomes furious at the doctor and proceeds to release her. In order to stop her from doing so, Dr. Rafaela injects a substance into Sophia's neck. Despite this, she somehow continues to fight back, earning time for Kira to recover. Soon after, Kira grabs a metal container and knocks down the doctor before choking her to death. She then tries to exchange her skin with that of the doctor's, but Sophia stops her from doing so. She doesn't want Kira to commit another crime, so she makes her promise to refrain from further skin replacement procedures. As the effect of injection kicks in, Sophia's state begins to worsen. Seeing this, Kira makes a brave move. She eliminates several medical personnel, retrieves a gun from one of them, and ventures in search of an antidote for Sophia. In a room, Kira comes across a young nurse, and seeing her beautiful skin, she can't control her urges. Later, when she returns to her partner, Sophia learns that she has again killed someone, evident by her smooth skin.
Smooth as eggs.
Realizing that she has become a huge threat for people, Sophia kisses her for one last time before shooting her to death.